everyone, Sheila here from Lifewithpets. So today I'm going to show you all our tanks. We've been getting a lot of requests for updates on specific tanks, and also obviously we've had a lot of changes over the last week or so. We've actually lost a fish just recently, a betta fish, so I'm also going to talk about that. So let's go take a look at the tanks and see which ones we've still got set up. So first up is our divided tank, and let's face it, we have to have a divided tank as we sell tank dividers. So this one hasn't changed a great deal, except for basically the plants are taking over. We have Frogbit on the top, and then on the left we have Bandit, who is the dad of our babies, and then on the right we have Theo, who just never shows up on camera. He is currently our oldest betta fish right now, and he is 2 years old. The tank is a 10-gallon tank, and we actually do have plans for this tank in the near future, so things will be changing in this tank. So the betta fish we lost was sadly Daffy, who was mom with Bandit in the breeding videos that you may have seen. We do think that she was possibly injured when they were breeding, although nothing seemed to show at the time. A few days later, she developed an issue with her gill cover, and since then she has just been having a lot of problems, and gradually it just got worse and worse until it got that she couldn't swim very well. She obviously couldn't breathe very well, and so we decided that it was time to euthanize her. So sadly she is no longer with us, and that is just very, very unfortunate, because she was a beautiful girl, and she was just so interactive as well. So very, very sad that the mom of the babies that we have is no longer with us. So this is our 20-gallon long, and it's the breeding tank for profit. We do have guppies in here, and then we do also have one of our betta juveniles, and this one has got some absolutely gorgeous colouring. She is yellow, orange and black, and she's actually full of brine shrimp right now. I've not long fed them, so she is really popping right now. We also have Guppy Fry, there is one right there, and then we have the cherry shrimp as well. So this tank has a number of different things in it. It is absolutely thriving. The plants are thriving, and we have to do very little maintenance on this tank. It is actually way understocked as far as the bio load, simply because there's so few fish in here. We do have quite a lot of Guppy Fry, but other than that, the shrimp don't give out a lot of waste, and so this tank is doing really well. It's very, very easy to maintain. We have a sponge filter in this corner, and we have another one in that corner, and then we just also have the heater on the end. We do have a few snails in here, not many, and I don't actually see any right now, which is just typical when you're filming. No, I don't see any. We do have a mystery snail in here, and we also have some nerite snails. I think we have a horned one, and we have I think it's a zebra one in here as well, but I don't see them right now. So, but yeah, this tank is doing really, really well. Like I say, easy to maintain, and this little one is just absolutely gorgeous. Our Guppy Fry are growing out really nicely as well. We do have some for sale, so if you're interested, these are Dumbo Mosaic Rainbow Dragons. If you're interested, then just send me a message. My email will actually be in the description box below. Something that I have found interesting in this tank, this plant here, as you can see, is absolutely huge. It's a crypt wenty, and I noticed the other day it has actually done roots and then started growing underneath the underwater river. So I just find that incredible that it's been able to grow underneath a sort of like plastic. There's nowhere for it to go. It can't get any bigger. Whether it will spread out, I don't know, but amazing that it's actually grown underneath that. If you're interested in that, I will actually leave a link in the description box below for anything that you see in the tank, so just go down there and you'll be able to find links to all the items in the tanks, or to most of the items in the tanks. So moving on, we still have our 75-gallon tank, and this one is doing absolutely amazing. We have our Amazon Pufferfish, And as you can see, they have got a lot bigger. We also still have our catfish in here. You can see one just go around the back there, and there they are just in that back corner. We also still have the betta fish fry in here as well, but we don't very often see, so I'll go and get some food and put some food in, and then maybe it'll come out. Alright, so I'm going to just add some food in, and let's see if we can see the baby come out. I'm adding bloodworms in case you're wondering what the food is. And let's see if she will make an appearance. And again, I say she, but oh, actually not in her usual place. There she is back there. I don't know whether you can see her, but she is doing great in this tank. I have noticed that she is getting braver and will be out a lot more than normal. Very often she'll just hide and she stays sort of within the plants and she doesn't come out very much, but over the last week or so she has got a lot braver. As she gets bigger, then the other fish will be no threat to her, but at the moment I think that she probably still thinks she's a little tiny and could still get eaten, but she's way too big for that at this point. So that is the 75 gallon. The plants are doing really well in this tank, and overall this tank's actually quite easy to take care of. So this tank may seem a little odd to a lot of people, but this is our holding tank for our mossballs. We actually sell mossballs, and so we just have a tank that we hold them in. I do water changes on this tank about 2 to 3 times a week, just to freshen up the water and obviously keep the mossballs nice and healthy. So no fish in this particular tank. This one is the one that we showed in our recent goldfish video. If you haven't seen it, before you start making comments about how small the tank is for this particular fish, then please go watch that video. So this tank, as you see, has a lot of mystery snails in. I am trying to breed them, but as yet it hasn't happened. One of the most asked questions on the video where we showed him in this tank was, does he bother with the snails? And no, not at all. He doesn't really even acknowledge that they're there. Sometimes if they're going after the same food, then he will sort of shove them out the way, but other than that we have no issues at all. We are hoping to breed the snails in this tank, but as yet it's not happened, so I'm hoping that over the next few months that will change. He will be going into a bigger tank in the coming weeks, but at the moment he's staying in here because right now we seem to have taken care of his swimming issues. So once we have got another tank, then we're going to put him in that, and I'll show you sort of us decorating it and what we're going to do. This one is our 5 gallon breeding tank, and when I say breeding tank, this is our breeding snails tank. We feed our pufferfish snails. We have to feed them snails for them to keep their teeth worn down, and so this is the tank that we actually breed them in, and then we just move them over to the other tank. We do also have Minnie, our female koi betta fish, and she is just absolutely gorgeous. So this is very basic setup. In this tank we have guppy grass, and then we have the heater and the sponge filter in the corner there. So this tank does require a lot of work. So just because you see the 5 gallon with a lot of snails in and a fish, we do have to water change this tank every other day, just basically because of the load that is in here. So if you do overstock a tank, then you do need to make sure that you're willing to do the work to keep on top of it. And lastly, we have our betta fish fry, who are no longer fry, so our betta fish juvenile tank, and we also have the guppy fry in here as well. This one's a 20 gallon long, and as you can see we do have, it just never shows up on camera. Let's see if I move the light, there we go. We do have another one that is coming out with all the splodges. In fact we have 2 now that is coming out with all the different colouring. This one is still completely cellophane, and so is the one at the top, and then the other ones are still sort of a reddy colour, so I'm going to feed them right now as well. But this tank is, I want to say it's a lot of work, just as in with the water changes. With any fry tank, then you do need to do a lot of water changes, so we do every other day on this, and I'm doing about 50-60%. It does change from time to time, but to keep the parameters where we need them, then I do need to do a lot of water changes. So, or I say to keep the parameters. The parameters are great. It's more about sort of diluting the growth hormone that the fish give off, and so we need to keep on top of that. They are looking good, and I am really pleased with their progress. We do feed a lot of frozen foods. This is bloodworm and Daphnia. Oh, my little puppy wanted to be in the background. I don't know whether you can see her there. She has been tapping around this whole video, so if you hear tapping, that's actually what it is. Alright guys, well thanks for watching. That is the update on the tanks that we currently have. We are going to be changing up quite a few of the tanks, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm also going to be doing some more educational videos. I want to say thank you to all those that did the poll and let me know what you wanted to see. So I am actually working on some videos right now for you guys, so just bear with me. I'm trying out some new software and stuff like that, so it might take me a little longer to edit videos, but I am working on sort of improving content and just also improving the editing as well. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.